What's up, guys and gals? It's your host with the most, Griever, as always, bringing you guys. I know it's been a while, but the latest discussion video ending off the Kengan Association versus Purgatory tournament for Kengan Omega. Kengan Omega chapters, I believe, 120 to about 138, something like that. So not covering a whole lot of chapters this particular video, but now that we finally, there was sort of a little bit to talk about where it's the end of the tournament and what I thought of the fights and what I thought of the details sort of in between. And then that's why I'm making this video now. So I feel like the next video will cover everything up to whatever the next arc is going to be, so to speak. I think I'll cover a lot more ground from chapter 139 onwards. Might even get up to, because I know right now the chapters are in the late 160s or something like that. So I feel like 2 more videos might be able to catch us up roughly. Maybe a third one. It just depends on what actually happens and how long a break between this and obviously another tournament is gotta happen. So yeah, but anyways, jumping into this one, so we have Waka versus Faye of the 3 Demon Fists. Now, okay, if this match was going to go any other way, I mean, it feels to me at this point like the Purgatory fighters were not only set up for a bunch of worm bullshit, which I don't mind the worm being this association and connected to everything and blah, 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 blah. I don't mind it. It just seems that it's incredibly shoehorned in here. And shoehorned in a way to the point that I don't understand. I believe they brought this up before and they bring it up again. Is why are they revealing themselves? There doesn't seem to be any point for the worm to constantly reveal who they are in the Purgatory Association at this point. There's no point in this tournament. There doesn't seem to be any gain, only losing ground. So what's the point? Granted, that might be a foreshadowing for some grand plan and something like that, but overall, yeah, that's just really weird. So now we get another one. Well, I mean, we get one of the Demon Fists. All right, of course, it's another one of these Demon Fist people. So we knew that the last match was going to be the other king, this Lowland guy, versus Oma. So we knew that match was basically set in stone. So clearly, somebody got to lose here, sort of idea is what I was going into this one as. But I don't know if I was even keeping track. Honestly, I'll talk about this at the end of the video, but in all honesty, this tournament didn't feel heavy. This tournament hasn't had me on the edge of my seat. The fights, most of them have been decent or good. They haven't been terrible or bad, like the choreography and all that stuff. There's just no real excitement in this tournament. Is that just me? This tournament feels hollow. No matter what happens in the matches, whether it's some bullshit and then you get pissed off, it's like, that doesn't make no sense. Or even if it's something really cool or a character wins, I'm just like, yeah, I mean, yay, but I'm not feeling the weight of the world here. Maybe it's because now they're finally stopping, even with the deaths in the tournament, the deaths happen not because a fighter couldn't control his strength or they couldn't stop them or it went down to the wire and he's already dead. The weight from the Kengan Association tournament in the first series, that weight is gone here. This tournament is just feeling really hollow and fan servicey just to introduce us to a bunch of new characters for the sake of something bigger next time. I really don't know. But anyways, so yeah, the referee says, so going by my notes here, the referee says stopping the match if she thinks it's going too far. Probably should have been doing that this entire time. Probably should have started with the bullshit poison claws of the Falcon. And you guys can say that wasn't cheating, or maybe that's not, that's too strict. And it's like, well, first off, these are Purgatory bitch rules. And second off, maybe we wouldn't have, 3 murders already? Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Jesus. So then another fighter is able to be the height of Purgatory, but not even use his actual martial arts still. Really? Really? Yeah, this is my next one. So, yeah, so you're telling me that the 3 demon fists. Here's another one who secretly never actually revealed that he's not actually using his real martial arts the entire time. So we're gonna tell me that Purgatory is such a joke, because now we have, it started off strong, but this is ridiculous. You can't convince me that these guys filled with these master level fighters would be able to, these guys are so good that they can master 2 martial arts to hide their true martial art, and still nobody suspects the fight. I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it. I'm just not. It's just stupid. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. Look at Kuroki Gensai. He's just the master of his martial art. You know? Like, remember what he said in Agito's match, is that Agito himself tried to use formulas in martial arts, and the problem was the lag time between them, because he became a jack of all trades, a master of none, and that's a problem. Agito has slowly been able to, merge them together, and he's still working on it, but by Kuroki's standards, he's like, at the point he is now, I'm not saying with certainty I could win now, because he's improved on that problem of trying to do too many things. Well, I would argue doing too many things is trying to master jujitsu and the Nico style at the same fucking time, or mastering formulas and martial arts at the same fucking time, right? So, yeah, this is just stupid. I don't really like this character right out of the gate for this reason alone. And then we get some plot relevant stuff that actually it's cool that it's happening like in the middle of a match and in between a match. We have Tiger Nico has finally made his appearance. Apparently he's involved, and now he only has 3 students left. Oma and Agito know he is here and stuff like that, and it's like, holy shit. So now it's like, alright, so this guy's one of his students, and he's apparently, of course, the 3rd junior student, and uses the Nico style on Waka, claiming to be the Tiger's Vessel, like they always do. They claim to be the Tiger's Vessel. Even Eddie doesn't know what the worm is, revealing things like that, so even Edward Wu is sitting there like, oh, what the hell is he thinking? What's going on here and stuff, right? But then we get Ryan. Ryan has showed up behind Edward and is like, hey, how you doing, motherfucker? So we don't get to see that yet. But holy shit, so we're going to get Ryan versus Edward. And I feel like at this point, when we jump back, Ryan's going to be like missing an arm, and Edward's going to be walking off being like, damn, son of a bitch actually fought pretty good. But Ryan's going to be an absolute bloody mess. Like, I just feel like that's going to be the case. Because Edward was at the end of the original series. Now he's been hyped up this whole time. He didn't actually fight in the tournament, even though it made it sound like he was going to fight in Purgatory. Even though they sent in Alan Wu, who got totally shredded. What a hyped up to just be ripped apart. But yeah, so I'm not really sure what's going to happen there. That's going to be interesting. So apparently even Oma doesn't know these versions of the Nico skills. Clearly Tiger Nico has been constantly, of course, trying to improve the Nico style and like sort of correct in his mind the Nico style in certain ways that it falters or tries to fix it, or really like just commit blasphemy across the Nico style. But he's using all these weird combination attacks that he's never seen before, like mixing the flame kata and the water kata and things like that. Trying to like combine them in these weird moves that Oma is not aware of. And Tiger Nico also, in this regard, Tiger Nico also confirms he lost to the real Nico. The Nico that we know, Oma's master. Tiger Nico did lose, but just didn't actually die. We thought he was dead. He's not dead. Well, we didn't think he was dead, but he was claimed to be killed by the real Nico. But Nico admits that he fucking lost. So Tokita Nico is an absolute monster. He beats everybody. Like this man is amazing. Just saying. But now we're gonna get Mutaba versus Tiger Nico, and I am so worried for my guy. I was so worried for my guy Mutaba. I really was. I was like, oh shit, I have a bad feeling about this guy. It's like, oh no, you do not kill off Mutaba, the man who makes all men feel inferior in the bedroom. You do not kill him off like that. That's dirty. That's dirty to do. We don't like that. So I had a very bad feeling about that at the time, so I just kept reading. So apparently, Fai is also a master of the water kata. The one of the 4 katas, of course, in the Nico style, and the one that Oma is the worst at, even though he does use it in the future fight and stuff, which is cool. Though they never actually name it when he does it. Like, he uses the water kata, but no one ever actually acknowledges, like, we don't get the title card of water kata. I was noticing that in the next fight. So yeah, that's kind of weird. But I feel like this fight would have been better having Oma versus him, though. Like, at this point, I'm not saying that Waka necessarily could beat, and Waka was treated kind of dirty here. I'm not saying that Waka could have beat Roland necessarily, but what I'm saying is, because, I mean, it just wasn't set up that way, but this guy being another secret student of, you know, knowing the Nico style, but I'm the best at the Nico style, another one of these guys coming out of the woodwork, it was just like, oh, for God's sakes, like, at least have Oma kick this guy's ass, you know? Like, it just doesn't make sense from Wakatsuki's standpoint to fight this guy at all, realistically. So, but I know it's a tournament, but still, it's like, why? Like, it just felt like this whole thing feels unnecessary. It feels unnecessary for this guy to be Tiger Nico's student, to be a vessel for anything. We do get what happened to the swords guy at the end of Asura, and what happened, and he's one of the 3 guys that actually managed. So there's this whole thing about that. But anyways, so yeah, it's an interesting match though. Like, actually, the match itself is not bad. I didn't mind the match. And now, of course, the advance is superior to both Oma's and the Fallen Demon. It's now the Divine Demon, combining the removal with the advance, maybe, is what I thought. You know, and I was like, okay, so it's combining the removal with the advance, using the cure, of course, technique, and the advance of, just the advance. So I was like, okay, maybe they're trying to combine those, because we've seen the whole removal thing, people using that, so maybe something like that. And so Longming was killed by Fei back in Asura. Yeah, I already talked about that. The blood bullets thing. Yeah. Can we say that was kind of stupid? Like, his blood is rushing so fast that okay, his blood is pumping so fast. Like, they're trying to make it sound like it's his whole body is working like a gun. But at that point, I don't care that they're saying, oh, but 5,000 people died, and he's just this super unique New York individual sort of idea, right? And I'm sitting there like, okay, so his body is pumping so fast that when he goes like this, it can work like a gun. Does that mean if he goes, like, his boogers become bullets and stuff too? When he takes a piss, is it going to be like a fire hose going like boom and just completely rip your skin off? Like, why doesn't he take a leak on Wakatsuki at this point? You know what I mean? If everything's pumping so fast by that logic, you know, and I'm just sitting there like I know it's because the heart, and the heart's connected to the blood, so it doesn't actually work on the nostrils but like, you see where I'm going with this? Like, you see how kind of ridiculous that is getting? And the fact of the matter is like, okay, even if that were the case and his blood was super pumping super fast, if that's the case, then every little cut and stuff he's gotten on his body should be doing this. Like, he should be showering. Like, you understand that? If the moment, like, it's not going to work like the firing of a gun. The gun only works because the trigger's been pulled and then the bullet fires. That's why this whole blood bullet thing, that's what they're going for. But it actually doesn't even make sense, even if we're going to accept that it's supposed to work like a gun. Because the fact of the matter is that his trigger is already held down. By the logic that it's because his heart is pump, 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 and his blood's going boom, 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 like the Energizer Bunny. But it doesn't pause and wait for him to, all right, now, there's no trigger. He's constantly triggered, if you will. He's constantly moving. So, like, because his blood is constantly moving, that by that logic, all those cuts should be, like, regardless, he shouldn't be able to control the blood, is what I'm saying. His output of the advance is supposed to be pumping his heart that fast, then all the blood should just be pouring off of him. in a stupid shower, and he shouldn't be able to fling it at bullet-like speed while just sitting there and letting it drip down his arm at the same time. No, I'm not buying it. That was fucking stupid. That was just fucking stupid. That was dumb. And then we jump back to, we have Setsuna still looking drippy, not gonna lie, even though he's crazy, still looking drippy. He claims it is actually Fallen Demon. I thought it was a removal, but it's actually Fallen Demon merged with the Advance. That's why, hence it's why it's a Divine Demon. And Fi has mastered it by stealing more backstories? Is that really what's happened here? Because the Goo Ritual and then the Whittle down to the 3 and them being the only one to exceed just because? I mean, so once again, so we're going to do like, oh, the reason this guy is so strong is Agito. And the reason he's so it's a combination of Setsuna's backstory mixed with fucking Agito's backstory. Like, it's not really that original if we keep combining this. The Goo Ritual and the Whittle down to just 3 and then being the only one to succeed just because, you know? And it's like, what? Like I'm just, it's supposed to be super exciting, super tense, super amazing, and it's just like, I don't get, especially since the end of the match, the way this happens, none of this is going to be relevant. All this is doing is trying to tie up loose ends from the end of Asura, I feel. It's trying to tie up what happened to the other guys that seemingly knew about Tiger Nico and the Nico style and blah, blah, blah. What happened to the dude that Gao Lang was fighting? What happened to these guys? This is just the answer. They're answering who they were, who they worked for, and the number was 3, and the third guy killed them, and that's this guy. You know, like, that's all it feels like. And, and here's another thing. Wakatsuki should have won this fight because the whole blast core, of course, didn't actually hit him. And, of course, Fi is actually insane because he's like, oh, I'm actually crazy. I'm not calm and collected like a fighter. Like, what happened? We can have guys like Kuroki Gensai. We can have calm and collected masters. Why are they all fucking nuts? Why are all the Purgatory fighters either worms and going, wah, or, and like, what happened to just guys really fucking good at martial arts? Like, are they only on the Kengan side? Like, what the fuck is going on here, you know? So I really miss Carlos. Even though we won like a bitch with the ring out, it was still the rules. I really miss match 1 because holy goddamn shit. What happened to dudes that are just really fucking strong, really good at their martial arts, and they just fight, you know, tooth and nail, but they don't have to be fucking batshit insane. Like they saved all the insanity here for the end or something. I don't know what it is, but so as I said, all these characters are acting the exact same, and it's getting kind of lame. Calm and collected, but actually fucking nuts. Yeah, like that's the problem too. Like, none of them are different. None of them appear insane. They all appear, oh, I'm soft-spoken, calm and collected. I can judge this because I'm a master martial artist. And then when they get in the ring after 5 minutes, they're all like, let's go, let's fight. Blood, I need to see you. I need to rip out your organs and eat them. I'm a fucking cannibal all of a sudden. Like, what? You know, like it's just, it's getting really dumb, getting really ridiculous. So, but yeah, this, and here's a point that really pissed me off. I say I like this fight, but actually the more I talk about it, the more I'm starting to dislike it again, because, so this motherfucker says, go down already, you loser, like old man, and calls Wakatsuki a loser and stuff like that, right? Because he just took him down. He used like this full advance thing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait a minute now. Wait the fucking minute. You weren't willing to take a punch from this guy. You aren't willing to take the blast core. You aren't willing to get yourself hit like a bitch, even with your divine demon form. This, I am a god now. But fuck, Superman, don't hurt me. Don't punch me, Wakatsuki. I have to dodge you and block and minimize the damage of your punches because fuck, that shit will kill me. But I'm a god and a divine demon and you're just a loser. But I'm scared to get hit. And Waka's the loser? I hate this fucking guy. And I was so glad, spoiler alert, he fucking dies like a dog. Good. Fantastic. Never wanted to see this loser ever again because he's the real loser. He only got to, fuck this guy. Fuck this guy, okay? He's acting. He's got the divine demon. He's a god. You think you're the top shit? Fuck you. Fuck this guy. Fuck him. And then the end of the fight is a draw. Okay, so Waka didn't lose, because I was glad for that, because I thought this guy pulled bullshit out of his ass, and I was like, if one blast core full on hit this guy, he'd be fucking dead. If he took it like a man and not stay down, you loser, Gramps, and all that shit, he'd be fucking dead. He would have been wrung out, dead, one or the other. And the fact that he had to use this divine demon form, which he had to push to the limit just to be able to get Wakatsuki to a draw, is is just a testament to this guy was a bitch in the first place. So I'm mad as a bit of a Waka fan. I'm mad that Waka was treated like he didn't learn anything from the Kengan Annihilation Tournament. Like he's just still a brute. He hasn't figured out more than just his blast core. He's figured out other things. Like, where's all that determination and backstory from Ashura? Where's all that shit? Where's all the drive to come up with a move after being humiliated by the Fang and stuff like that? Like, he's got to get better, and he's got to be better at martial arts, and all the development he was going through in Ashura. It feels like over these 2-year time skip, he hasn't grown any. Like, he's gotten no stronger, even though he's got the Superman syndrome. He's gotten no stronger, and he hasn't learned realistically anything that we didn't already see. He hasn't gotten any better. He's like been stagnant this whole time. He was a top contender 2 years ago, but he has stayed at the level he was 2 years ago. That's the way this made me feel. So as a Waka fan, I'm upset by that. Not so much the draw, just upset by they had to make this opponent do A, B, and C just so Waka would have to have a draw so we could get the Oma versus Roland fight and stuff like that. And I'm just, what? You know? So yeah, I don't really care for this. In the end, I thought I liked this fight initially, but as I go through my notes and then I see everything I've been saying, and I haven't said all of it, guys, but I'm just sort of paraphrasing as I'm reading the note and going, yeah, and then, doing the recording here. Overall, fuck the 3 demon fists. I fucking don't like any of them. I know like some guys like Lou, or however you say his name. He's okay, but even him, like the 3 demon fists are not my. I'm not the fan. So don't talk to me about those guys. Fuck those guys, right? So yeah. And then at the very end, this motherfucker dies still like a little bitch, pissing his pants, being pissed off that he wasn't chosen by God or whatever the fuck he was bitching about. The Tiger Nico's an asshole. It's like, how did you not know that by looking at the man's face, you dumbass? And but it's confirmed once again, Oma and Ryuki are definitely clones of somebody, and of course Oma taking this shit in stride like the boss. He's not like, oh my god, I'm a clone, my entire character. He's like, I'm a clone? Man, whoever I'm a clone of, you gotta be pretty handsome, right? Like, this man, not even phased. Let's go, Oma. Oma saving the end of this fight, this guy's death, by just cracking jokes. Like, God love the man. And apparently Faye knows who the guy who's the originator, of all these clones. He doesn't say, but he figured it out, and now he's pissed off. He was like, Oma always was going to be the Tiger Vessel. None of them stood a chance. It was always going to be Oma, apparently. So there's something in there. He recognized the face from somebody else. We don't really get any more information, but I guess there's some crazy shit going on there. And then we see Tiger Nico once again. He walks away. Mutaba is safe. He was going to pump him full of lead, but Mutaba didn't die. But he said, okay, but Tiger Nico also wasn't going all out, so maybe I wouldn't have even got the opportunity to pump full of lead. Maybe he knew I was going to pump full of lead. Either way, he told the head boss Purgatory and said, do not pursue this guy. Just let him do what he wants. Otherwise, more people are going to die. I failed. Blah, blah. Mutaba knows when he's outmatched, and so good for Mutaba, right? So now Agito and Oma are apparently, they still intend to hunt down after this is all over. They'll bide their time, but Agito and Oma are going to work together to hunt down Tiger Nico. And I'm sitting there like, damn right you are. Let's fucking go. Those two teaming up. Let's get a couple more of the top hitters in this bitch, and let's go kill this motherfucker, who the real Nico already fucking defeated and nearly killed. So yeah, you're just living on borrowed time. You're living on borrowed time, Tiger Nico. But yeah, so Either way, the next matchup is, of course, Roland Donner versus Oma, of course, as expected. And the hilarious thing, I'm probably saying the name wrong, but if you take away the E, that is a Nova Scotian, where I'm from, Nova Scotia, Canada. That is a wonderful, wonderful sort of burrito type wrap thingy called a doner. It was invented here by people fight over it. The Lebanese and the Greeks fight over who invented it when they were, immigrated here. But basically, it's wonderful. It's meat, onions, tomatoes wrapped in a pita, and meat done on a spit with all the spices and stuff like that, and then some condensed milk mixed up to make something we call doner sauce. And it's absolutely delicious. It's, of course, one of our main staples here, a reason to come to Nova Scotia. So tourists love it and stuff like that. We love it, of course. You can get it at any pizza joint. It's on every pizza joint's menu. It's fucking phenomenal. And so I cannot read this name, even though I'm sure it's supposed to be Roland Donnier or something like that. It's supposed to be pronounced with like an accent or said differently. But all I can read is Roland the Donner, Roland. And all I'm thinking is just the spit of doner meat, just rolling, doner, rolling. That's all I can think of. So his name is an absolute fucking joke. It's an absolute pun to me. But anyway, and it might be Lowlen. Like some chapters I was reading, sometimes when I first read it, it was like Lowlen, and now it's Roland. So maybe they're changing up. Of course, R's and L's in Japanese are always, interchanged so often, and nobody ever seemingly gets it right. So I'm just going to go with Roland because that was the last time I read the chapters. That's what the translation was. So anyways, moving on to the second part of the video and the final match of Purgatory versus Kengan. So anyways, I think I enjoyed this fight definitely more than the last fight. And for the ending fight of Purgatory, once again, this is where we're going to get into the last part of the video where I discuss about it just feeling so hollow. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm super pumped to finally see Oma back in action, of course. Does it make sense in the story? No. Is it very much DC Marvel Comics back in the 60s and 70s and even the 80s where the character, you never see them die on screen and they fall in the dark pit and in the endless void, and like, oh, they clearly couldn't have survived that fall. We never find the body, and then they're able to come back, and we get some hokey backstory of how they survived the crash or how they were brought back to life and all that stuff. It's very much campy comic book writing for characters to come back to life. But once again, I just don't give a fuck. I love Oma. It was feeling depressing without him here, and Koga and Ryuki definitely don't fill Oma's shoes. So I definitely like the fact that Oma finally came back, though I enjoyed the fact that Oma at this point didn't come back until later into the manga. It would have sucked had he come back by like chapter 4. It would have. The fact that we see the effect of Oma's death in the King of the Annihilation Tournament for chapters upon chapters first, and we get the grief from Yamagohan building us up to, yeah, I want him back too. So I think that was a very intelligent way. If you were going to bring Oma back anyways, right, then having us, the readers, go through with Yamagohan feeling like, I can't call Oma. Like, we got a tournament. I wish Oma were here. I want Oma back, seeing him go to the grave and all that stuff. That mattered. That made us feel like, yeah, you know what, I know he's dead, but like, can we have Oma back? Like, it was making us feel that way. At least that's how it was making me feel. So I'm fine with this, and seeing him like, it's finally time, and it's like, yes, we're finally getting Oma back in a match, a do or die match. And at first I'm like, okay, a little pumped to see Oma fighting again, especially considering this man was tied with Kuroki, but Kuroki back in the day, like this was like 10 years ago or something. Even though Roland looks to be like the age of like, maybe 30, and Kuroki looks to be like 56. So it's like, wait, what? But Kuroki, apparently he fought him when he was 24. So this was years ago, and Kuroki didn't seem to have the same level he has now because he didn't even have the beard and all that stuff. But apparently he was tied with Kuroki. So, like, I'm like, all right, you know what? That's kind of cool because this is a chance for Oma to overcome Kuroki from the past, the person he lost to, right? In the Kengan Annihilation Tournament. So I do enjoy that parallel. That doesn't bother me very much. But Hayami and Ryu are here. I'm like, all right. So we had a terrible match with a terrible character. Then we have Oma versus the dude who apparently tied with a younger Kuroki. Didn't beat him, but tied with him. And it's like, all right, this is Oma's chance. All right, I like that. Then we see Hatsumi. We see Hatsumi Sen, and we see Mikitsuchi Ria. I mean, we know it's them. We know it's them. And apparently they're on the move, just like Cosmo's master and everyone is on the move, and Koga's uncle are on the move. And it's like, yeah. So yeah, Hatsumi and Ryu are here, and I'm like, yes, fucking yes, let's go. I can't wait. So I'm expecting for something to happen. Of course, nothing. We don't really see any of the details, the aftermath, much of it, till after the tournament, because that's where I decided to pause. But because I felt like there's going to be a lot of shit in the aftermath. I don't think it's going to be like, oh, well, 6 months later, this, and this, because no, we have people here. Shit's going down. What happened to Ryan? Where's everybody at? Like, what's Hatsumi and Rhea doing here? And they said that we got to move. Like, they're here soon or something like that. So it's like, all right. Shit's going to go down. This arc ain't quite over yet just because the tournament's over. So I'm like, all right. Now, Oma, the initial part of the fight I like, because Oma has also evolved that intent ability. I think they called it something else when I was reading Asura. Now they call it the Inception of Intent. I thought they called it something different, like the Foresight of Intent or something like that. I thought they called it something completely different in Asura, but now they're calling it the Inception of Intent. I don't think that's what it was called, and it doesn't sound as cool, but whatever. Basically, the ability to predict the predictions, right? And predict where he's going to move and stuff like that. And at first, I thought he hadn't perfected it. It's like, oh, because Kano even acknowledged you've reached a state, and Kuroki's like, you reached a state. I'm like, all right, cool. But he got hit, but apparently that's not it. This is very similar to Agito versus Kuroki in that the fact that Roland, it's not that Oma isn't using Ultra Instinct, you know what I mean? That he's not being able to use that. Roland's better at it. Roland can also use it and better, similar to Kuroki being better at it than Agito was, you know, or I mean in the end that's how it went down. So yeah, now of course I do not trust Kuroki's words anymore. Of course. Now I still trust Kuroki's words. I think that was just some random bullshit. But never mind. No, I still trust Kuroki when he says that he and Roland will still settle the score one day, and it was a draw years ago, and he also sees Oma as reaching a new level, a new height since the time, because of course, power creep in a manga, right? But it's nice to see Kuroki, the master of masters, standing there going, yep, the boy has improved, and I'm like, all right, cool. Now, here's where, I think this is the part where the fight falls off for me a little bit, is that Oma ends up using Cure Clan moves. Now the flashback was nice, and I hope we get a few more of those. The flashback of his time spent with the Cure Clan. We got one with him, fighting against Ryan, in one of their daily matches. We got one of him training and stuff, and Grandpa Ero Cure is sitting there going, hey, do you want to learn some of we won't teach you the removal, but do you want to learn some of our other moves, and stuff like that, and like some Heavenly Strike move that he uses, and a copy move that he uses, and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. So apparently he's just about mastered those. And I'm sitting there sort of going like, you know what? I got a bit of a problem with that. Not the fact that he's learned some new moves, but I wanted him to learn them within the Nico style. The one good thing that came out of that loser from the Three Demons Fists that just died like a dog was the fact that there were moves within the Nico style, combining different katas and using different moves that Oma had never seen. So there was still room for growth. Those moves aren't evil. The Divine Demon is not a good idea, but those moves aren't inherently evil. Those are just more techniques within the Nico style. Oma still has room to grow the Nico style, the thing that Tiger Nico talks about even. And he says, like, I can evolve the Nico style even further. Okay, so what I don't like is that not that he necessarily learned the cure techniques, I guess, but No, you know what? No, fuck it. I don't like that. If he had learned them and then incorporated them into the Nico style in some way and go, this is my future, and then you could have seen, I don't know, the Cure Clan going up there like, humph, so he steals our secrets but doesn't even use them right. What a sleaze or something like that. Like, could he not incorporate the Cure Clan techniques into the Nico style in some way and broaden the Nico style? Like, because the reason I say this is because the entirety of Oma's character in the first series, in Ashura, was the fact that in Asura, he is constantly going against Tokita Nico's wishes, right? He's using the advance. And even though he's still using it now, there's some limitations and blah 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 that Hanafusu talks about and stuff like that. He's not excessively using it like fire or like he did before, which is good because it was killing him, and he got a second chance at life, as he points out in his own inner monologue in this fight. But the idea was the Nico style is fine. Keep using the Nico style. Don't rely on other techniques. Use the Nico style. It can be the best. Like, the idea is that if he trains and masters the Nico style as far as Tokita Nico did, he could be unbeatable. Like, he would be the best. That was part of the idea of his character development in Asura, was don't rely on anything else. Just use the Nico style. Stick to the Nico style. It's a great style. You don't need anything else. And for him to go like, yeah, all right, I'll learn the Cure family techniques, not only learn them, master them, and use them in a serious fight before he uses a single move of the Nico style. Yeah. So, that was the weakest point for me. I don't think incorporation, fine, knowing them and maybe knowing how to defeat them or learning something from them, maybe, but I don't like the fact that he used them, and especially half the fight he's using Cure Clan techniques. He's not even using the Nico style. And I'm just like, but that's not you, man. That's not you. So I'm just like, you know what I mean? I just didn't like it. Now, granted, I think he used Indestructible first, technically, but I'm pretty sure the next couple of moves were Cure Clan techniques. So anyways, like his attacking moves. So point is at this point in the fight, I was just not happy. So yeah, that's a big downer for me. I don't despise it, but I'm not a fan, and I think it was a bad call. So yeah, and then we get another too strong backstory thing. Of course, the Kuroki thing, like, Roland was just too strong. Roland, my donermeat, Roland. Anyways, that doesn't even work. That's not even fun. Like, it's got to be Roland, donair, Roland. I got to figure it out that to be funny. Anyways, point is that he was just too strong. How many times have we heard that? Stop it. Stop doing what you're doing. So a bit of a yawn. And Kuroki was clearly had the upper hand, even though they fought to a draw. They just didn't finish their match. It seemed like, because Roland was like, you're not going to run away now, are you? And he's like, settle down, pup. Like, we have time to settle our score later. The fight's over for now. And it's just like, all right. So Kuroki couldn't finish him off. But had they continued to fight, I don't think Kuroki would have lost. That's just me. So Ryan has won more than Oma, but Oma also has slowly been catching up, meaning that Oma is probably stronger than Ryan at this point, or at least equal in power. So when we first got that information, now we're getting the information that, in the first month, 6 months ago, this was the record, then this was the record, then this. So he's slowly gaining ground on him. So that's pretty cool. And then finally, the Nico style shows up, and it's like, about time. You've been toying with this guy. Like, use the damn Nico style. Like, for God's sakes. Like, you don't tell me that this man came back and didn't spend 2 years, perfecting the Nico style even further. And apparently not, because I didn't recognize any new moves. Maybe there was one or two. I didn't recognize any new moves. Was there? I didn't pay full attention, make sure to document every single move. But like he used Iron Breaker and he used Adamant Kata and Flame Kata and stuff. He ended up using the Water Kata a couple times, though once again, notably, it's not listed that he did. He only uses Indestructible once. He uses this idea of the advance and boom, boom, like for quick like seconds and stuff like that. But and then here's the worst part. He defeats Roland with the Nico style using a Cure Clan technique right in the middle, which once again that sort of took away from it. But he never even used remember the move? Remember the big move he had, the combination, the ultimate secret attack of the Nico style? What happened? Like, what happened to that? He's apparently pushed to the limit, but he's barely used the Nico style. He used Redirection Kata, which is his, like, favorite go-to. He used it, like, once, and then he never actually pulls out the ultimate attack of the Nico style Can someone explain the reason for that? Did I miss something? Is it like the advance? It's too dangerous for him to use now all of a sudden? Like I'm not understanding it. And then, so he still beats Roland, but I just never felt like he was toying with him. Like he was like, all right, this is a chance for me to see, outside of fighting Ryan, how good am I at combining two styles? Let's see. I've learned a bunch of new shit. I learned all these cure techniques, and I learned maybe one new move in the Nico style. I don't know. Once again, I'm not sure. Like, I recognize most of them, but maybe one or two were new. I don't think they were. And then he's like, yeah, and I'm going to try out my version of that shit that Kuroki and Agito were doing 2 years ago. That shit was kind of cool, that Foresight shit. And he's just like they're like, all right, let's try this out. And then when he starts getting that ass, like, oh yeah, I guess it's better to use the Nico style. Boom, 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 and wins. And he doesn't even go. It's still the victory felt hollow because I never felt like Oma was in any danger. First of all, and second of all, I felt like he was holding back for over half the fight by using new techniques he had only learned like 6 fucking months ago, and not relying on the Nico style and not going all out with the Nico style. You know, the one time he went all out was when he went full on advance and slam and knocked Roland out with one clean punch. And I was like, all right, cool. But yeah, other than that, yeah. So I have a lot of problems with that. So like, what's the deal with Oma? Does everyone feel that way about that fight? Like, let me know. But yeah, he wasn't going all out. I just never felt that he was. And that in lies to part of the idea, once again, of the hollow thing of this tournament. But so Ryuki shows back up, and of course now Setsuna has got the hooks in him, and he's found God. And oh, for Christ's sakes, we're doing that again. Like, why? Ryuki was only good as a character when we suspected that he was Amnesia Oma. Now that he's not, and now that we're going to do we're going to totally retcon everything. Well, not retcon it, but now we're going to do the whole Setsuna thing all over again through a new vessel. I'm not here for it. I don't like it. I fuck Ryuki. But Koga worrying more about the matches than his friend was stupid as shit. Agito not going to check on him. Yamagohan not going to check on him. Like, I can fault a lot of people for not, like, going to find Ryuki and allowing this to happen. Like, you don't let someone get blood all over them, cause of murder, and then you just leave them alone. Where were you with Kaede? Why were you there? Why were you there? You're the new MC and you suck at it. Look, like, Koga's okay, but the only real thing, like, you're not even in the bracket. You're an observer. You're there by Yamagohan's good graces. You should be up in the stands, first of all, with Cosmo and all them. You shouldn't. Why do you have front row billing seating? And second off, go check on your fucking friend, asshole. Like, Jesus. So Koga is to blame, in my opinion, one of the big factors to blame for any of the bullshit that happens from here on out with Ryuki and Setsuna. Any of that shit is on fucking Koga for leaving him alone. So he's a terrible friend. And then the end part, so they are going to actually keep Purgatory as it is, which I'm hoping means we can go back to some Kengan fucking rules as it is. And the tournament really did not matter in the end. And I think that's why it feels hollow. No wonder it felt less heavy than the first series. And Matsudo's boy there, he's got ambition. He wants the Kengan Association because he even says, like, yes, Nogi has, fundamentally made good connections to stuff. His position is solid, all that stuff. And then, he says, Yes, this is all good, and the Kengan Association must remain strong, for one day it will be mine. And I'm like, holy shit, I never thought about him having ambition like that, you know? But his father has had control of this bitch for 50 years. Of course he thought, like, it's almost my rightful inheritance, you know? So that's pretty cool. I actually like that development, and I'm like, okay, cool. I don't think he's going to go, like, all over to the worm side to get the Kengan Association or something like that. I think he's going to bide his time well and stuff like that, but yeah, that's actually a cool development here at the end of the chapter. So yeah, the fact, I think that why this tournament felt less important, less heavy, less dramatic, was because in the end, somewhere in the writing, it was subtle, but somewhere we knew that this tournament was irrelevant, because the outcome is irrelevant. Technically speaking, all it did was introduce, because technically, okay, now Purgatory is a business person, an association, a subservient of the Kengan Association, fine, dandy, whatever. But what does that mean? What does that mean? Purgatory's still going to run, Kengan match is still going to run. And at the end of the day, all this did was an excuse for us to introduce Purgatory's top fighters and to set up future tournaments. But this feels like a cover page prequel. Like, hey, like reading a lore book in a video game. Like, hey, if you want the background on this character and all that crazy shit with the knight and the dragon we heard about, you can read about it and learn about the lore of this quest, but you don't need to follow the main story. You can still follow the main story and get the gist, you know? This whole tournament, this whole arc feels like an unnecessary prequel just to introduce some fighters, because nothing happened. Nothing changes as a result of this. We killed a couple of worms that could have just come after Oma and the gang on the streets, and the end result would have been the same. So maybe that's why this tournament feels so... We'd never reached a real conclusion, you know? And we never thought the Kengan Association was in any danger of losing. The stakes were there, but no one was putting them on the grill. You know what I mean? Do you like my little pun there? But yeah, no, seriously, to use a cooking analogy, the steaks were still sitting on the counter. Nobody even turned on the propane yet. So that's why nobody was anticipating, smelling the garlic and the smell of barbecue and stuff like that. Nobody was, you know, salivating and like waiting for like, oh, this is going to be good. Oh, I can't wait for the steak dinner. Oh man, it's almost supper time. They're almost done. They're almost ready. That's going to be so good. I can smell them. I can hear them sizzling, because they're still sitting on the counter and it's still 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It ain't supper time yet. So nobody's anticipating it yet. A little bit. You're like, man, we're going to have a pretty good steak dinner tonight. Yeah. And then you go back to watching the game, playing a video game, doing whatever, doing your chores. You know? Going for a drive. Like, you're not interested in it yet. You're not there and interested because you haven't even started cooking. So, I think that's what, if that made any sense, I just went on a tangent. But at the end of the day, that's a bit of the problem with this tournament, is that there was really no consequences, and I think I felt that reading this entire time. Going through it, the matches seemed less important, the stakes seemed less high, and I don't think anybody was in any real danger. And all that happened was a bunch of characters I didn't give a shit about died in their matches like bitches. And worms revealed themselves for no good fucking reason. Oh shit, hit the microphone. But no good fucking reason. So... And Kengan Association is still on top, almost still awesome. So what did we learn? What did we gain? So, yeah, it left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth, but I'm hoping that from here on out, maybe this sets up a much better tournament. I know that some people are still reading the series and stuff like that. Some people don't like it. But if some people are still keeping up with it, I know Misk is still making videos on the current chapters. So... there must be something worth talking about. There must be something worth reading. So I'm hoping that this doesn't happen again and we get some more serious things like people's hostages, life on the line, you know, do or die, completion of character arcs, something, you know. But anyways, that's my spiel. Hope you guys enjoyed. It was a bit of a longer one, but that's why we only followed 18 chapters. There was a lot to talk about. It's the conclusion of the Purgatory Tournament. as Matsuno did, Kengan Association won, woohoo, woohoo, but there was never any doubt. So, what do you guys think? Like, comment, and subscribe. I won't say that these chapters were terrible, but I am glad the tournament's over, and I'm hoping that whatever arc comes next, whatever tournament, whatever storyline they go for, is much better than this. Is got more hype and more intrigue, and includes more characters. Like, I don't even like half of the Purgatory guys. So let's get some old faces back in this bitch, and let's enjoy ourselves, But anyways, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you back here next time. Bye bye. Oh, and drink responsibly as always. Yeah. All right. Now you can go. Bye bye.